All right, so we're back. We're at number 2 for me, which is Palm Springs.
Hell yeah.
So this is this the first film that is on both of our lists so far?
I think this is the only one I punted. So, I'm glad that this made your list too, because I remember we did a review on this one too, right?
We did a longer review. It's, the classic kind of time loop style. The added element being kind of adding an additional person that is experiencing your time loop as well. So that's the basic plot, if you haven't seen it, but it's on Hulu if you want to give it a shot. It's basically Adam Samberg is trapped in an infinite time loop, like Groundhog's Day, but he's at his girlfriend's friend's wedding in Palm Springs. So he's surrounded by people that he doesn't really know, doesn't really care about. It's not a great time loop to be trapped in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's been there for years and years and years. And then one day he, has a run-in with another guest who is the bride's sister, and she unfortunately kind of stumbles into this weird mystical kind of cave thing, which then initiates her as kind of joining in on his same time loop. So that they are now trapped together along with a third individual in this infinite time loop that they are kind of all conscious of together. You know what I mean? So she's not in one, and then he's in one. Like, they all wake up and they remember what happened in yesterday's loop. As soon as you fall asleep, you wake up again and the same thing, and then they can discuss what's happening. So it's serialized in that capacity. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting as they run the gamut of, it's like, if Bill Murray in Groundhog's Day had a mentor,
exactly,
kind of teaching you the ropes of being trapped in an infinite hell loop.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing because it's like, I know there's been like a slew of, Groundhog Day-esque genre movies. It's like Groundhog Day plus blank. But, you keep on thinking you'll get tired of that premise, but who'd have thought that just Groundhog Day with another person could be so engaging and just fit so perfectly with that, romantic comedy kind of structure, because and also talk about a perfect quarantine movie. Like it just like it really is grounded, I think, too, by like just how charismatic the cast is. Like Andy Samberg, who I think is like pretty much always great, and Cristin, we always screw this up, Milioti, something Italian. She's great. She's been working for years, and I'm really glad to see her get a nice big lead role. Like, she was on How I Met Your Mother, and I think she's had like bit parts and things. Like, she's got a really small role in The Wolf of Wall Street and few other things, but
she's kind of the first wife, right? She's like Leonardo DiCaprio's first wife. He ends up leaving
like 7 minutes of screen time or something, but she's she tends to do like a lot of like guest appearances on shows and everything, but she always she was on that Black Mirror episode that was like Star Trek themed. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, the with Jesse Plemons and Is she the woman in it?
Yeah, she's the main character in it.
She's the lead?
Yeah.
Why did I think it was I thought it was the actress from like Sex Education and True Blood. God, what's her name? You don't know who I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about.
They look very similar.
Totally dropping the ball on her name, but I know who you're talking about. Oh, and also kind of shout out, I feel like, because the two leads are so great, not enough love getting shown at both, of course, J.K. Simmons, who is fan-fucking-tastic, and, of all the great J.K. Simmons scenes, I feel like this has the J.K. Simmons stuff that I love. But also, the guy, whoever... I don't know the actress's name, but whoever is playing Andy Samberg's actual girlfriend in the movie, like, I just remembered, like, she is very good at playing, like, just the right amount of just ditzy kind of, like, fake superficial girlfriend in a way that's, like, kind of real, and she's not, like, just... she's not entirely just like an asshole. Like she is, but like in a way that I would still believe that I could actually meet that person, if that makes sense.
She's just completely grating and horrible, kind of like, emphasizing that this is a personal hell.
Yeah, and,
to be trapped kind of in this with this person.
And like
he wakes up next to her every day.
Well, that's like one of the things I liked the most about this is just the fact, like, when the movie starts, like, if you hadn't seen the trailer, like, you don't realize this is a time loop movie for like the first 25 minutes or something like that. And you just kind of think, oh, Andy Samberg's is just like this checked out piece of shit. And it's a good way to kind of like introduce, like, the fact that you don't realize the fact that you catch him already having been in this loop for who knows how long, and the fact that like you never really know, like he could be in there for years, like years and years, hundreds of
30 years 50 years, 100 years.
And then also the fact that the characters actually seem to do, at least as far as I could remember, like actually do the things that you usually scream at the TV like for people to do when you watch movies, like, why doesn't this character do this or try this or whatever. Like it feels like they come to those conclusions around the same time that the audience does, and it actually, does a good job of kind of staying ahead or staying with the audience and making sure most of the stuff is motivated in the plot and the characters and such. But yeah, and on top of that, it's just fun. It was nice to have a movie that was like a good, fun, easy to watch film this year, for sure.
Yeah. No, I agree. I didn't really know the premise when I went into it. I watched it with Ash. She didn't know the premise. We just heard, it's getting good reviews, whatever. I didn't really look into it. I just kind of threw it on, and it was awesome. So definitely one of the best of the year.